I said I'm not going to speak, but I continue to speak. With the telephone calls coming in.
Let me just remind persons of that telephone number. It is 226-7453 or 226-7454, 622-2222. That is WhatsApp. You can call us on WhatsApp or send us a message, or you can also do such on 624-6456. You can also drop us a comment on Facebook. There was a break-in transmission just now in our Facebook feed. We are back up and running, so you can head across back to our Facebook page. And
I just saw in today's newspaper a story. I have it here. Maybe you should show the nation. Government borrow from IDB to purchase 5,000 flash drives. When I see this headline last night before I go home, I nearly wanted to cry for Guyana. Is the 27 million US dollar Guyana going to borrow from IDB and pay interest? 27 only. They're going to use part of the money to buy flash drives for computers in school. This thing is sick. What's going on in this land, man? You collected 700 million American dollars, and you're going to borrow 27 from IDB and pay interest to buy flash drive to educate our picnic, so that our children can use a computer in school. And you know what they will turn and say? Well, the children don't have flash drives to use their computers. You're live on the air. Can I help you?
Good night. I just listened to you mention a part where you said you're confused. That Brassington said, we do not guarantee project, but we guarantee the performance of GPL. What does this mean for Guyana? Does it mean that even, well, in my thinking, I believe that if the project fails, then the performance of GPL will fail. So does it mean that the government will have to step in through GPL just to spend money on this project or guarantee it, or it's just
that's a beautiful question you asked there, sir. But I wish I could answer you that. I just repeat what Brassington said, and you heard him for yourself. I myself, as a newspaper publisher, don't understand what he means there. This is why I had to say the man's statement that you read from was well constructed and crafted. You understand? To confuse people, because he confused me. You understand? I don't know what he means. But what I do know, sir, is that if that project failed, fall down, destroyed, or for any reason, a government change, that those people will not lose a single cent of the money them spend. You understand when I say them say? It's like I say I spend $5,000 for bottled water, you will have to pay me that $5,000 for that bottled water. Right?
Yeah.
But that was a beautiful question you asked. Any other question?
Yes, recently I've been seeing some developments. You were just speaking about the gas to shore and how to produce the gas, Guyana has to pay for it. It comes out of our oil and so forth. I've been seeing some recent developments lately that the government was mulling a second pipeline. Now we know they're developing, and I've seen Kaieteur News has been reporting about the $1.3 billion cost that Guyana has. And now if they're going to say, if they're going to run a next pipeline, that's an additional cost coming out of our oil. So does this mean that each time there's a gas find, that Guyana will have to fund another pipeline?
Exactly. That was the question posed to Barajagde when he was briefing the press by a reporter. Exactly. Right. If we begin taking gas from Liza 1 to the Wales gas plant, when that project is finished, or that gas should come to an end in the Liza field 1, then you would have to get gas from Liza field 2. Now, these projects are not side by side. They are way apart. So that will be an additional set of money for pipelines to run from the Liza phase 2 to attach to Liza phase 1 to bring the gas to Wales. If not, Wales have to shut down. And when they finish from Liza 2, and you got to move, like, say, to Payara, which is a good distance away too, you have to pay all these costs. And these are costs that Jagdev did not factor in before they even begin to talk about this project. They just accept and want to go, you know.
Yeah.
And this is very frightening. You know, you don't know the cost. You don't know the money Guyana will be spending to move from one project to another project, right? You don't know how much we will be paying for the gas. And when I say paying, they would want to say Guyana not paying for the gas, Exxon giving the gas free. They're saying that all we got to do is pay for Exxon to transport the gas through the pipeline to the Wales plant. Hear that?
Yes, sir.
This is a game they play. They're not paying. Man, you and I know, if you understand a little about business, you would know once you got to pay anything, whether it comes in form of transportation or highway or roadway, you are paying. It's a cost.
And my final question for tonight: how many gas does they said they're going ahead with the plant and so forth. How many gas does Guyana need to power to boost GPL system so that we can have sufficient power? Because I read the headline. It says the Mull gas, and they're considering the next pipeline to maximize the gas potential of the project out there. But if you're going to maximize the gas potential from every well, isn't that a oversupply of gas?
That's precise. Hold 1 second. That's lovely. That's lovely. You understand what's going on. You really got a full understanding or much understanding of what's going on. When Jagdev first announced the gas plant, he said they're going to take gas to generate electricity to supply Guyana, and that will reduce light bill by half. Then he said that they're gonna do fertilizer, or they're gonna use it to do other projects to make money on it. But now you're hearing a different ball game. There is excessive gas. There's gas that Guyana will never be able. That gas plant will never be able to handle a small portion of. So I don't understand where they're going to put these gas. I think it's 50 million cubic meter of gas per day Guyana will need only to supply electricity. So it's so confusing, my friend, that when you do the gas to show project to give Guyana electricity, and you bring in Amelia Falls to give electricity, and then you're buying 50 megawatt, almost 1/3 of Guyana's usage from a private man. I don't know where they're going to put all this electricity, right? But they're just going about buying and making up these projects. There are excessive gas there, my friend, that Guyana cannot even handle. Guyana never even sell a pint of milk, much as to sell gas in the world. Trinidad, that is Trinidad's main business, gas. And Trinidad is finding it difficult at present to market their gas. Imagine you go in and put on a plant to sell gas in front of Trinidad and Tobago. This whole thing, my friend, is not, man, you guys got to help me to find words to describe. It boggles my mind how you describe these things that our leaders are putting us through with these projects. But all these projects are only being designed not to benefit the country. These projects are designed to benefit just the private people only.
The developers.
And the developers, ExxonMobil, and the private people that they're going to install within these gas plants. That's what is going on. It's a con game going on in this country, man. A Ponzi scheme that has been going on for the last 30 years with both governments.
50 years.
All right? You know, I was looking this morning at Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka bankrupt as I speak. They have $50 million in their foreign bank account. $50 million, the whole of Sri Lanka have 50 million. And their debts is 52 billion American dollars. They're bankrupt. They're bankrupt. Huge protests going on there. And the man who put them in that bankruptcy is filthy rich and still sits at the helm of the country and don't want to step down or come off. His name is Rajapaksha. You know?
We got another Raja here too.
And we have several Rajas in this country.
Raja Jagdev.
Plenty of them we have. You know?
Yeah.
Sri Lanka run bankrupt. They run bankrupt because of the loans. The loans and projects they embark on. China is one of the biggest lender. And China is the biggest one who responsible for where Sri Lanka is today. And China is already increasing in Guyana with the Amelia Falls project, the Demerara Harbor Bridge, and if I ain't like the Chinese gonna be in the plant, they're already in the oil field. There's Sinok, Hess, and Exxon. They are already out there. You know, they're already in Guyana, eating up and breeding up every project. Man, the Chinese building the airport. Yeah, they're building everything.
Never know airport.
And guess what? All those costs, all those are loans. Guyana holding as I speak. And those loans are being paid, comes with interest, and I don't think we even begin to pay a single cent on it. But we keep borrowing more and more and more. As they borrow, I will inform you guys. And as these projects progress, I'll inform you people. Stay tuned. Thanks for listening, my friend. Any more questions?
No, that's my final
You
question.
sound very smart. Must call. Thanks.
Okay, sure.
Welcome. Bye. Yeah, these are the people I'm happy that people, beginning to get a glimpse of what's going on in this land.
I
Bernard?
have a question.
Yes.
What role does Mr. Su play in all these projects?
Who's Sue now, man? Sue?
Yeah. Has
Mr. Sue?
anybody investigate that?
No, I don't know. And I don't want to get too much involved with Mr. Sue.
Okay.
But the international journalist did came and asked. She had her information on hand. Sue, according to Jagdev, is a tenant. And I will leave it there. I'd probably leave it that way. Is a tenant.
So my next question is, if Lisa 1 dries up with the gas, why can't they intercept that same line and connect it back to the other part of the project and bring gas to shore in a common pipe rather than continuously running new pipes?
No. They will use Lisa. What they'll do from Lisa 2 is connect to Lisa 1. But that
New pipe.
Danny, that comes with a humongous cost. It's like what we are facing right now. The pipeline project began with a coalition at 400 million. Then when Jagdev came in, it went up to 900 million, and now it's at 1.3 billion. And this is only Lisa 1 to Wales, and that is not the final amount. Because Exxon self put out a statement and said, other costs are to add to that 1.3.
Plus, we have to pay for the gas too.
Right? Well, that one different story. I'm just talking about Exxon part. We have to pay for the gas, and we don't know the price yet. Right? And we have to build the plant our own self. So all these, to building the plant, Guyana will have to go borrow money, couple $100 million,
Probably another billion US dollars.
to build a plant. These are things we are not told. All we are being told is we're going ahead.
It's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer. It will make money. Jagdev said it's a no-brainer. That fool. this man, this ex-president, you don't know the cost of a project, how much it will cost you. You don't know the cost you will be buying this product to sell, right? Most of all, you don't know the additional cost from one field to another field. If the gas finish in Lisa 1, then they will have to move to Lisa 2. You understand what I'm saying? Then you have to supply from Lisa 2. Now you got to connect that pipeline. That comes with an additional cost. Who's taking that into consideration? And how you arriving at a no-brainer when you don't know these things, man?
That is why you need proper feasibility studies. If you had a feasibility study, it will tell you the gas. You need independent experts do the gas analysis of all the different wells. So you will see which is the best one to do if you're going ahead of that. So only a fool who has no brains will do things without a feasibility study, and then he calls other people and tell you other people it's a no-brainer.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes.
Good night, everyone.
He didn't call call us no-brainer.
He said it's a no-brainer.
He said the project is a no-brainer.
Without a feasibility
study. Yeah.
Well, that means somebody has no brain. I'm not going to say who. But anyway, Glenn, there's a country, Burkina Faso in Africa. You know that country?
Yes. Burkina Faso.
Before the name was Upper Volta. But the president, a guy called Thomas Sankara, he renamed the country Burkina Faso. You know what it means, Glenn?
No, I
It
don't
means
know.
land of incorruptible people.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And when he became president, he ordered all officials, including himself, to open their bank accounts to public scrutiny. His government was responsible for several concrete achievements, including vaccination, housing projects, tree planting to hold back the desert, promotion of women's rights, and most importantly of all, curbing of waste in government. Don't you think we need a president like Thomas Sankara in this country, Glenn?
Man, we have leaders in this land in which the law says you have to declare your assets before you hold office, and plenty of them don't do it. They don't do it.
Glenn, another thing. These people keep on saying about international best practices when they are in relation to the oil. They all say it. The president says, the vice president says it, the minister says it, right? We all know there's more than a million. Our late friend Trudy always tells us there's more than 1 million ways the oil company can rob you, right? So why aren't we hiring experts to tell us? The experts are telling us this gas shorting is a way to the oil companies will rob you, and we are not hiring our own independent experts, right? So why do they keep on saying this thing, international best practice, and they keep saying it and they are not doing it?
My friend, these people are not hiring nobody to look out for our interests.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You know,
I have said it umpteen time. Trinidad had 38,000 workers.
do we have 38?
We don't even have the 8. Jagdeo and Brazinton must make the 8. This is what is happening in this land.
In a billions of US dollar industry?
And this country sits down quietly.
That's what I want to...
This country sits so quietly.
Then I have another question for you.
You talk about the president ask people to open a bank book. Man, you can ask some of them to open a bank book in this land. Huh? Which one you could ask to open a bank book? You might drop dead.
Glenn, that contract that Rafael Trotman signed and allows Exxon to do all these things, isn't that contract, which other country in the world signs a contract with like that, Glenn? Isn't that madness in the highest level?
Yeah, but we don't want to go. I don't want to be harping and going back on that thing. What we should be talking about is that the contract
should be changed.
Can be changed, and it must be changed.
So why aren't the governments changing it?
That is what we have to keep telling this nation. Forget about Rafael Trotman, what he signed. We already have a done deal there. It can change. There's a provision provides for that. And instead, Jagdeo used that provision to call for a renegotiation. And the opposition, including the new leader, Aubrey Norton, if I can use the word renegotiation,
He said plain and
But-
close, and he's not going to renegotiate. He
but-
said that.
But Jagdeo, forget about Norton. Jagdeo sits at the helm. He, our president, put to lead the oil sector. And he, as an ex-president for 12 years, have been sitting in this, making decisions for this land. He ought to and must use that. But instead, this man is defending the oil contract with this sanctity contract. That's what he keep using. The contract has, they have to live up to the sanctity. It means it's signed in blood. I don't know who blood he's signing, but a contract signed in blood. This is what this chap's doing.
Right, the only thing that was written in stone is the 10th commandment. Anything else can change.
Supposedly. Going back to the issue with the license and this cost attached to this oil. Initially, when we first started to report, didn't the permits or the production license say that gas was supposed to be re-injected along with the other byproducts? What
Yeah.
happened, or was
The-
that never the case?
The contract says the gas, the Exxon can land it to shore free. We don't have to pay them. All right? That's what the contract said. The gas is free. But they dropped the word free and they said we have to pay them to transport the gas.
Before that, but wasn't it not meant to be re-injected initially?
Well, all over the world,
It's
all over the
re-injected.
world, gas has to be re-injected. But because it's costing a few penny to re-inject it, Exxon don't want to spend that money to re-inject it. They burn it. They burn it, they pollute the atmosphere,
Yes.
we suffer, and they're happy in their pockets.
But in their permits, I'm talking about the official documentation.
Yes.
Does it not say it should be
They
Why
cannot.
are we even entertaining this conversation then? If in the permits that the governing body,
Well,
the EPA has
thanks.
issued these people, why are we even entertaining a conversation that is going to end up costing us money that goes against what the regulators, the EPA, have already said?
Well, Exxon blamed the burning, the flaring, on the compressor,
Malfunctioning compressor.
malfunctioning compressor.
2 years and still malfunctioning.
Yeah, everything for them malfunctioning.
Yeah, on this brand new 1.6
Man, everything for
billion
them,
ship.
everything for them
bullshit shit.
malfunctioning in this country.
Bullshit shit. It's one of those. The
The gas, they are not even supposed to be burned. They're supposed to halt operation and fix that,
Yes.
but they are not. And you have another option, according to the contract, in which you pay if you want to burn. What do you call it? Polluters pay, right? And guess how much they're paying? Yeah,
$30.
was
per
it
carton.
$40? $40 a ton
Yeah.
to flare it. It's like your neighbor mess every morning mess in a paper and shine it over in your yard, and tell you, well, I'm gonna give you $1 for clean it. You understand? You don't want to pay the garbage truck
Yeah, the more
$5,000 a day
the
to
more
move
you
it.
look at it, you could
So that's what-
reasonably conclude that this was a long plan from the inception, conceived from the inception, because if you can avoid re-injecting the gas, right, you've already gotten away from that. So that's one cost that you're saving. Then the next thing is the compressor doesn't work, so you have to flare this gas.
Deliberate.
So you're deliberately leading this country and its leaders, its politicians, down a path whereby the company, the operator, are able to maximize their profits and then burden this country with a set of costs that we wouldn't have had if they had stuck to the original permit,
Precisely.
which was to re-inject the gas.
Exactly.
And then the politicians are pretending as though they don't know that this is the plan that Exxon already had.
Exactly.
No.
No, but when you analyze these
That's
decisions,
Jagdeo-
that's exactly what it is.
Jagdeo know
This is a plan.
exactly, and the government and the opposition know exactly the right thing. But Jagdeo come out like and smiling, saying, you see, we're charging them $40, $50 per metric ton. And every Guyanese believe Yeah, boy, this man working. This man smart. He bringing in money for we. Uncle and auntie. What he's bringing in there is like your neighbor shying over he mess early morning when he done at your back step. All over your back step. And give you $100 to clean it. That is what Jack Dave is doing to Guyana with the burning of that gas. Accepting $50 a ton.
But that same $50, presumably,
That's what is happening.
That comes from the same money that Exxon is giving back to us, right?
And that money has to come out from the oil.
Because we're paying the same money again. You're giving with your right hand to your left hand.
pay ourselves.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. You're paying your right hand into your left hand and saying that you made a profit.
Yes, and all these things Jack Dave know very well. You know.
Of course.
You don't have to
It
be.
just goes back to this whole thing. People need to start looking at these decisions that these politicians make and do 10 steps ahead and 10 steps backwards. And then you're going to really see what the plan is. Because it appears as though every time we see a decision, this is what it is. But when you look at the rationale behind the decision, the steps that led these people to make this decision, you can see that it's a part of a bigger plan. And the bigger plan is to continually, consistently put Guyana in a position where Guyana is either indebted or has to bear some kind of cost. That is the overall plan.
Lisa 2, the burning. Payara that he signed, that he authorized, he grant the license, David Flair 2. Yellowtail that he signed off, David Flair 2. Everything wrong from day one with Lisa 1, 2 will continue under Jack Dave, and he will not correct anything in this project. Anything. He would not seek to get a better dollar from you people for the Guyanese people, and he will not correct any wrong perpetuated on this land with that oil contract. With that, if we don't have any telephone call, I want to say good night and God bless you guys.